Hello, it's 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition. For tonight headlines, we have the Egyptian starts fasting the first day of the Ramadan month, like millions of Muslims around the world. For the international scene, a weekend of violence, deaths, tours of our martyrs in Gaza Strip since Friday to 25 martyrs. Welcome to our newsroom. Today is the first days of the blessed month of Ramadan. Djibouti, as the rest of the Muslim world, celebrate the holy month of Ramadan. In the city as in the market, the populations make this race in an effervescence, dried fruit, dates and some other food at the flagships product, but also spices to develop the dishes that garnish the table of Ramadan. This blessed month, four pillars of Islam, is one of the most sacred practices of the Muslims religion, is a month of meditation, communion, forgiveness, and cohesion. Ramadan is an opportunity to maintain and renew among the members of the Muslims community the spirit of mutual aid, fraternity, solidarity. Remember that beyond fasting, Ramadan is a privileged moment to gather, pray, and read the Quran. It is indeed during this blessed month that the Prophet, peace and blessing of Allah be upon him, received the beginning of the revelations through the angel Gabriel in the cave of Hira on Jabal al-Nur, the mountain. The Minister of Women and Family, His Excellency Mumina Ahmed Hassan, continues on today her towers in the region of Obok. She went to Badoita Ila. Beneficiaries of the community fund, accompanied by the deputies, by the Member of Parliament, Ms. Uma Mohammed Hamid, Ms. Fatuma Dawood, and Fatuma Mohammed Hamadou, Prefect of the region, Hassan Dabeli, and the President of the Regional Councils. The delegation was warmly welcomed by community of Badoita Ila. This visit allowed the ministers and her delegation to discuss with the Badoita Ila community their complaints. Finally, the ministers and her delegations, with the financial support of UNFPA, to the distributions of solar kits, wellness for newborns, mosquito nets, and food with the support of LAI. In her speech, the Minister of Women and Family, Mumina Ahmed Hassan, recalled the objectives of her visit, which concern the evaluations of the impact on the project implemented by the ministers in the rural localities, but also to listen to the people to collect their dollars, which fits in the leaf of the road of the Minister of Family to bring a fast and adequate answers. Under the high patronage of the Minister of Social Affairs and Solidarity, Muna Osman Aden, the Djiboutian Agency for Social Development, organized this Sunday, 5 May, at the Campus Q Hotels, a closing ceremony of project promotion project of youth employment and handicraft in the presence of numerous officials, including the representative of the World Bank, Mr. Atusek, and the Japanese ambassador in Djibouti, the General Director of ADDS, Mahdi Mohamed Jama, and the project manager is Mohamed Abdullahi. 1,300 young people were able to access entrepreneurship trainings and started 414 micro projects with a total funding of about 176 million Djibouti franc. More than 300 women were trained, 178 of them in the new designs. The results of 495 new products have been developed. 16 associations of craft women were created and received a total about 12 million in funding. This artisans were able to exhibit their product at an event of international scale, as at the International Fair in Djibouti. And a showcase on the website is being built for even more global product visibility. It is worth noting through these new figures the relevance of this project anchored in the Scape Djibouti Vision 2035 to know the strategy of accelerate growth and promotion of employment. For his part, the representative of the World Bank, Atu Sek, and the Japanese ambassadors to Djibouti has enlightened the specific objectives of on the one hand, to help craft women to form a cooperative and acquire sustainable income from the productions and sale of handicraft. It was for the Djiboutian Agency for Social Development to create real professional opportunities and facilitate the granting of funding to young men and women of medium and low skill who came from the communities of Djibouti City, Arta, Tujura, and Ali Sabih. For her part, the Minister of Social Affairs and Solidarity, Muna Osman Adens, in addition, the project promotes entrepreneurship trainings, micro-project competitions, and support for women's artisans in the file of production up to the file of marketing, were successfully complete with the support of the Japan Fund for Social Development and administered by the World Bank. The Youth Employment Promotion and Handicraft Project aims to improve the accessibility of young people and women to opportunities for income and job creation through training support and financial support for the implementation of their income-generating activities. A delegation led by the Minister of Commerce, Hassan Muhammad Arbahim, participated this weekend in the original meeting on the new ACP-EU Partnership Agreement. In fact, the current agreement governing the ACP-EU Partnership and in 2010-20, and the parties have expressed in 2017 the desires to extend this partnership for a period of 20 years. Negotiations officially began in September 2008 and are in their third circles. Therefore, it was considered necessary to organize with African countries these consultations with the EU's chief negotiators. The meeting was co-organized by the kingdoms of the EU with the participation of the Prime Ministers Eswatini and the European Commissioner for International Cooperation and Development. The President of the Authority and Free Zones of Djibouti, Abubakar Umar Hadi, has in Djibouti for a few days conducted by the Minister of Industry and Commerce. The delegation was welcomed by Abubakar Umar Hadi. On this occasion, the chief of the marketing department has made a presentation on the project. The Jordan delegation thanked the head of the authority of Free Zones for the hospitality offered to the delegation. After the meetings, the Jordan delegation visited yesterday the port infrastructure of the countries, accompanied by Abubakar Hadi, president of the authority ports of Free Zone. The Jordan delegation has first time visit management company Terminal Containers Dorale, welcomed by local responsibilities. The Jordan delegations assisted to the retailers, the different phase company management Dorale Container Terminal. After visit, the delegation visit ports, multiple ports at DMP and the new international free zones at Vika 23. Accompanied by Abubakar Umar Hadi, the president of the ports and free zone. President Guled Military Schools in Holhol hosted Saturday 3 May an end of training ceremony for 300 young recruit men and women of different levels. This colorful ceremony chaired by Lieutenant General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim, Chief of the General Staff of the Armed Forces, saw the participation of senior officials of the Djiboutian Armed Forces. Among the civil authorities took part in the ceremony the Sub-Prefect of Holhol, the President of Holhol Regional Council, local elected officials and elders. A total of 320 soldiers were trained into job of soldiers for 4 months. The objective of this training is to train group leaders and team leaders with the ability to command and men into the fight. This allows to highlight their ability to control. Thus, upon his arrival, the general proceeded to pick it. Then General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim greeted all the guests, military and civil, present at the ceremony. Subsequently, Commander Muhammad Jama' Qayat, commanders of the President Guled Military Holhol, present at brief presentations on training and evolutions of trainees in the acquisitions of technical and tactical know-how of military life skills. Finally, General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim conducted a traditional troop review instead of the report of Holhol President Guled Military Academy. Commander Muhammad Jama' Qayat, commanders of the Holhol President's Schools, at the end, Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim rewarded the best trainees and congratulated them for the excellent results. In addition, Samga urged all trainees to give the best to service the flag and the nations, he said. Ceremony and with the traditional folk song and dances led by the famous Harbi group. Let's talk about Aluka at this evening. The Secretary General of the Ministries of Social Affairs and Solidarity, Ifrah Ali Ahmed, is at the head of the team, of which Mr. Mohamed Awale, the head of the Service of Social Windows, who went to Tajura for a mission in supervision of the CNSS cards issuing a mission to vulnerable households in the region as part of the PASS program. Started in recent days, it should also be remembered that the Social Assistance and Health Program PASS is a program aimed at granting free medical coverage to the poor and disabled population of the Republic. Upon arrival, the Secretary General met with the Ministers of Social Affairs and CNSS to discuss the progress of the planned activity and the difficulties encountered. Until then, thereafter, the facilitators were listened to, and finally the circuit change followed by a house to be registered and equipped with the CNSS card was verified step by step. In Al-Sabih, the Bureau of Djibouti National Mechanisms of Alert and Rapid Response to Conflict organized a workshop in Al-Sabih, expansion, geographic and awareness of local actors on the program Severu. This event saw the participation of Ali Sabih's first Deputy Prefect, Mohammed Abbas, Ali Sabih Regional Vice President, Mr. Noor Saeed Geldon, and Ali Sabih RPP Annex President, Mohammed Musa Umar, Director of Responsible Communications of Severu. The workshop, which had the opportunity particularly of being led by a national consultant, Ilmi Awale, who specializes in project monitoring and evaluations, brought together on-site frameworks of the concentrated state service in the region. Is remembered that Severu, which is a national early warning and conflict response mechanism, is a branch of Severu. Djibouti is a regional instrument of IGAD established in 2003 and 13 and headquartered in Addis Ababa. Its mission is to collect, verify, analyze and process information on conflict in the sub-region. The Director General of the National Police, Colonel Abdullah Abdi Farah, yesterday received 2 vehicles from French Cooperation. The reception ceremony took place within the Police Academy. Idris Farah Habanet. These donations will undoubtedly strengthen the capacity of the elite National Police Unit RAID. This assistance from French Cooperation will certainly make it possible, on the one hand, to revitalize Franco-Djiboutian cooperation, and on the other hand, to further strengthen exchanges in all sectoral area between the two countries. On the evening of Saturday, Dr. Sheikh Mwata launched his new book at French Institute of Djibouti. This is a book entitled Djibouti, the Desert at the End of a Sky. Writings with Evelyn got French poets. This book is illustrated with beautiful drawings of the painters and the armies. Thierry Laval, this new book, like the one of the year 2008 by Sheikh Mwata, is edited by Bernard Dumerchier, great publishers of the fine books in France. It is a book of encounter between several artistic expressions, between poetry and painting, between several other with different sensibility. Indeed, it is built around Djibouti, where the poet Sheikh Mwata and Evelyn got evokes the countries of Djibouti, which is at the crossroad of the all encounters and all artistic expression. The artistic work of Thierry Laval is interested in Djibouti, and it is the 5th time that these painters exposes on the character, the architectures, the fauna, and draw. His exhibition is the last offers in Djibouti before leaving landscape for his painting. As part of the cleaning operations of beach, the capital to provide batteries with a pleasant and comfortable sitting, the Djiboutian Coast Guard begins on 5 May 2018 a major operations to collect waste and other detritus that streams around the beaches of Siesta. These cleaning operations were intended to rid the beaches of detritus, scrap, and other dangerous materials, blades that pose a risk to the safety of bathers, plastic waste such as bottles of water, sodas, and other waste pollutions. The beach have also been collected. This action is part of the continuity of the social actions of the permanently leads the Djiboutian Coast Guard for the benefit of the Djiboutian, and more specifically in the protection and preservation of the marine environment and beaches. Mr. Kabbo Idris Baragoita died at the Balbala Hospital in the mornings of Saturday following a short illness. The deceased was a distinguished administrator enhanced by a trainee at the Institute of Regional Administration in Lyon. He has served both as a journalist of the ORTF and was a public administrator, notably as a head of the 3 Ram district commissioners of Obok and deputy commissioners of Al Sabih. Kabbo Idris was a well-known man and appreciated within the national community for his human and relational qualities. The deceased leaves behind him a widow and 11 children and 20 grandsons. May God welcome him to his eternal paradise. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. For the international scene, Gaza ceasefires has fighting between Israel and Palestinians. Russian plane fires, Aeroflot jet crashes, landings killed 41 people in Moscow. Listen to the report.
On board a Russian Aeroflot passenger plane were killed when it caught fire while making an emergency landing at the Moscow airport on Sunday. The pouring video showed the passenger leaping from the front of the pouring plane onto in-flight fearlessly and staggering across the tarmac and crashed. At least 2 children were among the dead. Russian investigators were cited by the Interfax news agency as saying another 11 people were injured, said Dmitry Matveev, the Moscow region's health minister. 3 were hospitalized, but they were not in any serious condition. The airport said in a statement the plane turned back for unspecified technical reasons and made a hard landing that started the fire.
This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us.